Hello everyone, it's King Sloth. Welcome back to another military reaction video. Today we react to Chile versus Argentina. Whose military would prevail if it ever came to war? For those who don't know me, my name's Sloth. I was in the British Army for just under 7 years before transferring across to the Royal Air Force. I do YouTube as a side hobby. It's good fun. I learned about different cultures, different militaries, and how the world is turning. It's absolutely amazing. Make sure to leave a like around for 10 likes in the video. Comment down below what you'd react to next. And subscribe. We're going to aim for hopefully 5k by the end of the year. Originally the goal was 4k and we smashed that, so let's aim for 5 to get it done. But before we start, I just want to show you something that you can all do to see videos early. That's right. You can come down to any video on my channel, scroll down here, and you see a little button saying join. You press this and it costs £2.99 a month, which is about a point. It's the price of a point currently. And by that, having that, you can help me get different equipment, help me make more videos, and just generally just help me out. Just help me out with the best way possible. And I've already got 2 members currently since last time promoting, so this is good. We're on the roll, and it helps me out massively. So I hope you can enjoy it. But anyway, you're not interested in that. You're interested in the video, so let's get into it.
45 million. Its neighbor Chile is smaller at 18 million.
Okay.
The two do have some border disagreements in their history, and they do share a long border at a whopping 3,200 miles.
Is that one of the
two have
biggest
armies
borders
of
in the
comparable
world?
size. So, if it ever comes to a war between the two, which country would prevail?
Okay. Interesting now. Interesting. Vinkov's battlegrounds.
When one looks at the overall ground forces of the two countries, they seem quite comparable in numbers. Even when it comes to actual maneuver units, the numbers are again roughly similar. But the differences start to emerge as we look at the position of those ground troops.
Yeah, you can.
Evidently, Argentina is geared towards protecting
covered.
its coastline and its northern border,
Which
while
makes sense.
Chile distributes its armed forces evenly across the country.
Which
Given
makes
that
sense,
Argentina is
considering
not a
that
small country, and that Chile...
Considering the logistic wise anyway, it makes more sense to have those 11 different groups of soldiers spread all the way down the coast. Because in reality, the coast and the border to Argentina, it makes sense to have them all spread out along. It makes logistical sense
Chile
anyway.
has a lot more troops right next to the border compared to Argentina. That proximity to the border means Chile would be first to cross into its opponent's territory, likely on multiple points along the border.
Yeah, they could.
Of course, the geography
Hail
of
Mary.
the area would not allow quick progress everywhere. The Andes are especially high up in the north.
Yes.
Almost half of the border between the two countries features mountains going over 10,000 feet up, with peaks reaching 16,000 feet. The Andes do get a bit more tame as they approach the southern tip of the continent.
Okay, so if you take the Andes and control that through Air Force,
so the fight would for the most part be between dispersed infantry units and not huge formations of vehicles. Indeed,
the leopard wins
huge
that.
border the
Surely,
two
the leopard
countries
wins
share,
that.
the number of roads between the two is minuscule, and those are fairly narrow mountain passes. Any attempt to funnel large
and we've got 46,000 troops
by
with the Chilean 45.
fairly easily.
It'd be control
Still,
the bridge.
If Chile does get to act quickly, it could use its proximity to the border and probably move some troops over the mountains
quite
to
easily.
Argentina.
Quite easily take a lot of terrain.
Has some conscripts, which serve usually 1 year, while the Argentina's army is unprofessional. But in reality, the state of Argentina's military leaves a lot to be desired, as the officials save on everything. So the military trains infrequently. Chile could conceivably get some of its tanks and artillery into Argentina.
The thing is though with that, they say like, they try and skimp saving. But in reality, if your country goes to war and you're a patriotic country like the people I've seen in Chile, you'll sign up. You'll go, no matter how much the money is, you'd go. You'd fight for your country.
And more capable than Argentina's. Argentinian tanks are basically of 1970s vintage and have not received significant upgrades. Their indigenous TAM tank had 3 attempts at modernization in the last 20 years, and each one yielded only a few modernized vehicles before contract cancellation.
Yeah, that's don't look any different at all.
Most of the Argentinian hardware wouldn't even get to face their attackers though. The key drawback to the Argentinian counterattack would be their lack of air power. Most Argentinian large vehicle formations would be intercepted by the Chilean Air Force.
Does Chile have the bigger Air Force as well?
Most of its F-16s are old, but have been modernized.
Can still be
all
used.
use fairly modern weapons such as AMRAAMs and guided bombs. And the F-5s and Aviojets could be used for combat air support missions. Facing them, Argentina doesn't really have a way to fight them. Their combat air force has been
That's all you need to know.
for a few decades now.
That's all you need to know. If you have air superiority in any war, you're near enough 99.9% you're going to win.
At one point in 2017,
because you can't run. There's nowhere for you to hide. You will get, even if the Chile military is losing an attack, call the Air Force, blown back, and guess what? They'll keep going forwards every time.
Chilean air capability. There are some 20 Skyhawks in reserve, but it's unlikely more than a handful could even take to the skies in an emergency.
And in reality, they'll be shot out of the sky. The amount of Chilean military, or Air Force, sorry, they'll shoot them out of the sky first.
Some of Argentina's Navy's Super Etendard planes are also available, but they are maritime striker planes and would be wasted on air combat. Modernized Pampa trainers could in a pinch throw a bomb, but again, they lack the numbers to make a difference.
Retired in
Both sides have
2019.
additional trainers, but they're fairly devoid of any modern equipment, and would likely be imprecise in bombing raids, and would be easy prey to any air defense
They'd most likely be used as like reconnaissance.
Argentina could not count on air defenses either. Aside for some short-range AA artillery, their most potent system is RBS-70, Portable SAM.
4.0
They have over
miles.
100 launchers, of which a third are the quite new NG variant. Still,
Even they're not good. Yeah,
basically,
you're fucked.
Chilean planes and drones could
Just
fly
stay.
even at low to medium altitudes
Just stay in the sky.
without much fear. The importance of that can't be overstated. Chile would have the advantage in situational awareness. It would be able to deliver airstrikes to strategic targets. Or pick up Argentinian artillery, for example.
So you take off artillery, you take off anti-air, you take off. I'm guessing the airfields that they have.
Rather than later, Chileans would need to resort to using unguided bombs, which means either being quite imprecise to the point of tactical uselessness, dropping them from 12,000 feet, or going low for precise hits against Argentina's vehicles,
you would.
for example,
You'd go low.
Getting shot down.
You might the speed you're at.
Guided weapons from the world's companies that do make them would require possibly a full year. So while Argentina does have decent artillery numbers,
I do not
in
reckon
practice, the Chilean
this
edge
war
would
would
be
last the year
even
that
greater
happened.
than shown here.
I
Their
think Chile would.
multiple rocket
I think
launchers
Chile would
be
steamroll them
especially
within
lethal
6
due
months.
to their guided rounds.
100%.
Using helicopters and limited paradrops, Chile could also try to perform incursions over the Andes up north. At the same time, Argentina might have a harder time to reciprocate due to the Chilean Air Force cover. Of course,
Yeah, so every time you have a plane up,
incursions would
it's
be
get
very
shot out of
much
the sky.
subject to shoulder-launched missiles, so it would be quite dangerous. even for
Argentina, the only
Chileans.
way they'd win that would have to be like
Argentina does have a bigger
like
helicopter
sneaky
fleet,
beaky
even though it
espionage
may
sort of
be
thing.
questionable if most are in flyable condition. It's a larger country with a bigger population, so the need to reach remote parts of its own country is greater. Drones and recon assets would aid with
3
reconnaissance,
Hermes
though they would
trains.
periodically get discovered and shot down.
Yeah.
Argentinian solutions are mostly homemade, while Chile bought theirs from
Yeah,
abroad.
Chile's winning the drone battle
Both
outside.
sides could
Chile's winning
rely on
the
satellites
army
for
battle,
recon, and Argentina is pretty
the
strong there.
Air
They have
Force
several
battle,
commercial
the drone
satellites
battle,
that they would probably
satellite
commandeer
battle.
with a decent resolution. So large formations of Chilean forces would likely not go unnoticed.
Wow.
Naval forces are another area where Argentina has neglected to fund their side. Much has been written in the media of the state of their ships and
Yeah, how they're all pulling
they
apart. I've heard
allegedly
about this.
sail very rarely, and most of the systems and missiles on Argentinian ships
Don't
are
actually
well
work.
past their
They're there
maintenance date.
for show.
Chile has more submarines, and its vessels are on the average newer with decent armament. The
And
3
they're looked after,
Argentinian frigates in
which is
theory have
the
the
whole
high-speed
point.
medium-range SAM systems and anti-ship missiles. But even if those work as advertised, the Chilean technological edge and the submarine and air power edge would keep the Argentinian Navy at bay.
I mean, in reality, you could destroy their navy. You didn't have air superiority and the ocean. You're stuck from getting any supplies, really.
Argentina has a big piece of the largest island, but it's very likely it would get cut off quickly.
Yeah.
So the Chilean Air Force and Navy
Chile would take over that straight away.
Argentinian ground and naval forces from resupplying it. Island de los Estados would also eventually fall into Chilean hands.
Yeah, quickly.
Chile has a much more robust amphibious assault capability. Argentina has repurposed its last Type 42 destroyer into a troop carrier, which relies on helicopters and small boats to transfer troops.
That's not quick,
Chile would
considering
likely
most
be able to
helicopters will get
transfer
blew out of the
1,000
sky
troops in
pretty
one go,
quickly.
while Argentina would struggle with 300. Both sides operate some maritime patrol and anti-submarine planes, but due to Chilean air superiority, it's questionable if Argentina could make much use of their fleet.
So it seems that Argentina don't
Chile
really
is
have a
likely to
chance.
use the relatively permissive topography of the southern tip to cut off the Argentinian part of the largest Tierra del Fuego island and endure Argentinian counterattacks there. The rest of the front line over the Andes would be too much for either side to monitor, but Chile would be especially ill-advised to try an offensive there. The remainder of Chilean forces would be best used as a quick reaction force on the western side of the Andes, in case Argentina tries to push through anywhere. Argentina would, after it mobilizes, have more troops, and it would be able to use its numerical superiority over the length of the border on the Andes to try and perform surprise incursions over the mountains,
Chile has
nibbling away at certain places alongside the long mountainous front. Argentina would certainly try to take advantage of the fact Chile is very narrow and try to sever it.
They're trying to stretch it.
It's not likely any such offensive would yield permanent success. This part would likely see much fighting, as Chile is less than 15 miles wide here. Chile does have a fairly
and also in
robust ferry
reaction,
network, though,
if it was getting really bad, you'd have to maybe one of your navy ships come around from the side of one of the destroyers,
even if temporarily
get on the side of the
Any
country and level it. Just ping as many shells off into the mountains as you can, destroy as much as you can.
Could respond with both air support and heavy vehicles. Chile would not, however, likely try to push much inside Argentina. Due to greater territory depth and fairly small military forces, Chile could not afford to push equally at all points of the front.
No, you'd have to work your way up.
Push into Argentina would end up with a salient that's much exposed to Argentina's counterattacks. Over time, Argentina would amass more troops. Its reserves and paramilitary today are fairly slim, but its mobilization potential is higher.
Wow.
The near-term goal for Argentina's
in reality, Chile's more looking more
troops,
like,
which is still 4 times fewer.
You're looking about 150,000, probably quarter of mils war kicks off for Chile.
Some aces up its sleeve. As said, it's more populous, almost 3 times over. It has a bigger economy, which means it could buy more stuff from abroad. And it has a bigger domestic arms industry, underfunded and neglected
its own tanks and artillery.
But all those factors would form a basis for a strong rearmament
like the UK
effort.
when we were in World War II, we started making rounds and we made everything
GDP was almost
quickly.
Twice as big in 2018. One may wonder why is the Argentinian military
so Chile would have to react quick. If they wanted to
place?
go to war,
Well,
they'd have to
it's
react
always
quick
about politics.
unless they got reinforcements
Argentina, being
and
more
money
populous,
spent.
is actually less wealthy per citizen, and it has had a long history of military coups with the military oppressing its people. The military there has simply not been trusted, and due to
civilians don't even want to join the military.
Argentina has incurred a lot of debt. In such an environment, funding the armed forces was the least of its priorities ever since the Falklands War. That
they tried.
Make it hard for Argentina to pivot all that economy, twice as large as Chile's, into a war effort. Still, when in a total war, it's easier to justify cutting spending on various other items. So in the long term, it's unlikely Chile could keep spending on rearmament as much as Argentina could.
No, of course not. But once again, with the amount of air force, there's not a lot of way you can win.
Both sides would try to buy arms from abroad. The Chilean Navy and Air Force would not be able to impose a blockade, so supplies and arms would come into Argentina. Argentina would eventually be able to buy more hardware, but training personnel to be proficient when the experience base is fairly low would take years. So it's unsure who would be the winner of a multi-year-long, perhaps even decade-long conflict.
The only way it happened is Chile
went quickly. Term, which Binkov is focused on here, Chile would undoubtedly come out on top, taking control of the entire southern tip of Argentina.
I reckon it'd be quick. There you go. So there you go. Short term. Sorry. So it's that same as what I said. Short term, you're looking like Chile would win 100% with the amount of air force they have, the bigger navy, bigger military. Yes, I get Argentina has more population. That's what I guess I was worried about originally when I watched it, because I put my money on Chile there. When it comes to it, obviously Argentina's bigger. If they're a very patriotic country, they'll have loads of people join up. But then you've seen at the end of that, it said, okay, there's been loads of military coups, the public don't trust the military. So, in reality, why would anyone want to join up? If they're conscripted, I understand. But it's hell if it's me, I would not want to have someone there who doesn't want to be there fighting with me. Because that's when mistakes happen. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been King Sloth. Like, round for 10. Comment down below what you want to react to next. Whether that be a different service, different country, different military. Anything, get it down below. Let me know what you thought of this video. And who do you think would win out of Chile and Argentina? Subscribe. I guess we're going to aim for 5k. And once again, also, I'll let you know at the start of the video. You can still press this button. You can become a member. See this video straight away, and help me out, help a boy out. Subscribe, get the 5k notifications on, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.